Good afternoon, Finn. Thank you for coming along today. I'm really thrilled that you're going to help us explain some of the work we're doing on mathematics in school at the moment. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And how have you found the new home learning books at home?
It's good.
Good. So how are you accounting?
Good.
Okay, so could I ask you to choose, we're going to use some big pieces of paper today because they will show up better on the video. Normally you might just be using a little jotter or a scrap piece of paper at home, okay? Could I ask you to write down the number 6,726 for me, please?
Wait.
6,000, no, in digits, if that's okay. Fabulous. Okay, lovely. Thanks, Finn. So how do you know that number is definitely 6,726? How do you know that's right?
Because I know that 6,726. So it will be 6 first because 6 is the 1,000 and 6 is the highest digit, so it will be at the start.
Okay, so if I was explaining that to some of our children in year 3, could you label those columns for me then so we know which one's which? Lovely, thank you very much. Finn, could I ask you to do me a favour? You see we've got a box over here with some place value counters in for me. Could you just make that number for me using those counters? Thank you, Finn. That's brilliant. Can I just ask you a couple of questions around the counters? So, why aren't we saying I've got 6,700, 2 tens and 6 ones?
You're saying that because you pronounce 2 tens 20 and 6 ones as 6, not just saying that it would be 2 tens because you don't say it as 2 tens. 2 tens has a different name.
Lovely, that's really well explained. So you're used to the fact that sometimes when we're talking about numbers, they may have a special name, but actually we might describe that differently. So 20 is 2 tens. Really well done. Today we're going to practice today. We're going to take a bit longer than usual, just so we explain things properly. We're going to practice counting in thousands. Okay, so can we do that together, just playing a game and taking turns? Because I want to see what you understand, so I don't spend too much time. Actually, if you're really good at it, I don't need to spend ages practicing it. So can we go forwards first, see how we get on? So I'm going to say 6,726. What would be 1,000 more, Finn?
7,726.
8,726.
9,726.
10,726.
11,726.
12,726.
13,726.
Really well done, Finn. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stop the video for a second and then we're going to have a look at something else to do with how we counted on those numbers, okay? So I've just asked Finn if he could draw me a number line to show how the digits have changed when he's counted on in thousands. We're just going to do that for a couple of them. All I'm doing is just seeing if Finn really understands what's changing. He can clearly count on well in thousands, and we're just checking if he can explain what changes as well. Good. Okay, Finn. So if we were changing the number over here, what changes in the counters when we add on 1,000?
It would only be the thousands changing, not any other digits.
So could you create for me 7,726, please? And now can you create 8,726? Can you create for me 9,726? And now can you create for me 10,726? Is there anything which changes when you write in the digits down when we get to 10,000?
It adds another thousand. It would add another 0 on as a placeholder.
Okay, good. So could you write that number for me on the top of this piece of paper? 10,726, please. So So when you look at these two numbers, which part has changed?
Just the thousands and it's adding a zero.
Good. Which parts haven't changed?
The digits, which are the hundreds, tens, and ones.
And why haven't they changed? Why, if I'm counting on the thousands, why don't the hundreds, the tens, or the ones change?
Because 1,000 hasn't got any ones, tens, or thousands in.
Fantastic. So when you're focusing on that, you're just focusing at the moment on just changing the number of thousands. Thanks, Finn. That you not only have you shown me that you can count on in thousands, you've really explained how you understand that using your place value knowledge. Finn, I'd like us to practice counting backwards. I'm not going to use the counters this time because you've shown me that you understand the place value. Could you choose a number for me between 20 and 30,000, and you can have different digits in the hundreds, tens and ones if you wish. Finn, could you read that number to me, please?
27,894.
And could I ask you just to label the columns for me as well, please? And could you explain to me the two largest columns, please?
So the TH one is the 10,000s and the TH one is thousands.
Fantastic. But how many thousands have you got all together?
27.
Fabulous. So if you read that number to me again, it's
27,894.
Okay, can we use your number? Can we play a game of counting backwards using that number? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to go first or shall I?
I will.
Okay.
27,894.
26,894.
25,894.
24,894.
23,894.
22,894.
21,894.
20,894.
19,894.
Well done. Why did I think you might find that bit tricky, the last number?
Because it's not going to be 21,000 and 19 isn't a part of 20s.
Thanks, Finn. I'm really, really impressed. You've definitely shown me that you can not only just count in thousands, but you've mastered that because you can really explain what you're doing and you can explain the changes which take place. I think if you can master 1,000, numbers near 1,000 you can also master. So we're going to practice counting forwards and backwards in 999 and 1001. Okay, and the only clue I'm going to give you is they are near to 1,000. Do you think you'll be able to do that?
Yeah.
Have you done this before?
No.
Okay. Okay, Finn, I've said if you can count in thousands, you can also count in numbers near to 1,000. Which one do you think would be the easiest to count on in? 1,000 or 999?
1,001.
1,001, and why is that?
Because you're just adding 1,000 but then also adding 1.
Fantastic. So could you write down, if I was to ask you to count in 1,001, could you show me what you would change in this number up here for me, please? Could you make that back into 7,726 first for me, please? Fantastic. Have you checked that's right?
Yeah.
Okay, so show me how you would add on 1,001. Could you get 1,001 out for me, please? Hang on. Can I see your 1,001? But I've got, okay, fantastic, lovely. So how would you do that? Which would you change first?
The ones.
The ones, okay. So what's that number now if you were to add 1 on?
6,727.
And I can see that, so well done. And what would you add on next?
The 1,000.
Fantastic. And why would you add on the 1 before the 1,000?
Because it's just easier to add on the ones because you just adding 1,000 on to get to the number, whereas you've got to add 1,000 and then 1, whereas you can just add 1 then 1,000.
Fantastic. So on your number line, just so we can explain that a bit more, would you draw for me what you've just done then? You said that, what did you add on first?
1.
Okay. And then, so what's changed? I can see 6,726 has changed into 6,727. So what's changed?
Only the ones column.
Only the ones column. Good. And will that ones column change again now?
No.
Because earlier on you explained to me that if you're changing the thousands, it won't change the columns which are smaller than that. Could you add on your 1,000 for me now, please? Now, because Mr. Cassidy has some problems with his memory, what's the rule that you've just taught me to add on 1,001?
Add 1,000, then add 1.
Okay, so add 1 and then add 1,000. Could you just write that for me in a sum? So what the rule be? The first step is plus. Yeah. So could you write plus 1 for me? And the next step is
plus 1,000.
And then plus 1,000. And could you just put a comma in those? Oh, that's okay. You put the add sign in there as well. So a comma between them, plus 1, plus 1,000. Okay. Okay, Finn. Thank you for writing that down for me and showing me the difference that's made as well. So if I'm counting on in 1,001s, if you added on 1, you got 6,727. You added on 1,000 more, you got 7,727, this time changing the thousands. Can we play a game of counting on in 1,001s now? And I'm going to use your rule, okay? So I'm going to say aloud, I'm going to add on 1, then I'm going to add on 1,000 to make sure I don't get that wrong. Thank you. So 7,728, 8,728.
8,729. What? 9,729.
Good. 9,730, 10,730.
10,731. 11,731.
Excellent. So what was the hard part about doing that?
You had to add on 1.
Yeah, and what did you find it easy remembering the number which you started on the last time because it wasn't written down?
Yeah.
Okay, so that can be the hard part, but that's a really good thing because it helps to develop your working memory. So if you were struggling and you were thinking, oh, I know what to do, but I can't remember the number, you could go, you need to work on developing your memory. It would be entirely okay to just make some notes to practice that. So although you're counting, you're just practicing working on your memory as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thanks, Finn. Okay, Finn, that was absolutely brilliant. Once again, you've shown me how you can use your place value to be really good at counting. And I like the way in which you explained the rule. Really simple rule, but you explained the rule and you and I could both follow the same rule.
Yeah.
If we were to go backwards in 1,001, what would your rule be now?
Take away 1, take away 1,000.
Take away 1, take away 1,000. Could you do me a favour and just write that rule down for me just so I can follow it again, please? And you have chosen -1 because earlier on you told me that you wanted to change the smallest column first as well. Okay, so that's a good way to do it as well. So we're going to do 10,730. If I asked you to take 1 away from here, could you show me what you would do, please, Finn? Just explain it as well as you can.
So what I would do, I would take away 10 and then get 9.
So you just told me that to take away 1, you had to take your 10 and change that back into 9 ones, okay? And then what you said to me, the next step is to take away 1,000. So could you take away 1,000? So you started off with 10,730, and what have you got now?
9,729.
Fantastic. Okay, can we ever go at trying to do that game just counting? So you said 9,729. I'm going to say 8,728.
7,727.
6,726.
5,725.
4,724.
3,723.
2,722.
1,721.
Oh, if I take 1,000 away, I haven't got any thousands left, so it'll just be 700.
720.
Thank you, Finn. Really appreciate you helping me then. Okay, Finn, you've done an awful lot today and you've been really, really brilliant. But what you've shown me is that you could count on 1,000, and we've just stretched that to say, well, can you do numbers near to that? What else does that allow you to do as well? So this time we're just going to do this from memory. We're not going to do any counters, but I'm going to follow your rule. You've said if I add on 999, I take away 1, then I add 1,000. So off camera, we just discussed which is the best one. Your first rule, which was plus 1,000, take away 1, or your second rule, minus 1 plus 1,000. And you said because you want to keep the same way of working with the smallest column, the smallest digit value, you're going to follow your second rule. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'm going to put the camera down and then it will record us as we talk. So we're now going to play add on 999. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So it will be 7,725.
Okay. 8,724.
9,723.
10,722.
11,721.
12,720.
13,719.
Finn, that was absolutely brilliant. Did that help because you'd written down the rule?
Yes.
And so you could do something which you couldn't do before, and you just done that really quickly, really well. So having a rule has helped. Is it a bit tricky trying to keep the numbers in your head?
Yes.
And if you found that tricky, would it be okay to write that pattern down on a number line or make some notes?
Yeah.
So there's loads of ways you could do that, but actually, eventually, you want to lose the notes because you want to improve your working memory as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Finn, last question. Now we're going to try going backwards in 999. Can you remind me what you know about 999?
It's just 1 less than 1,000.
Fantastic. So what rules could we come up with if we're going to take away 999?
Add 1, take away 1,000.
So if I add 1 and take away 1,000, that would give me 1 less than 1,000. Or what's the other rule I could do?
Take away 1,000, add 1.
Fantastic. Which of those rules do you prefer? Add 1, take away 1,000, or take away 1,000 and add 1? Which one do you think is going to help you to memorise that best?
Add 1, take away 1,000.
Okay, so could you show me on your number line how you would take away 999?
So I'd go add 1 and then you'd take away 1,000.
Okay, so could you tell me what the answer to that is then, please?
27,263.
Fantastic. So you know exactly what you're doing, but just to be clear, can I just draw out a way in which I might see that number line differently than you? Is that okay? So the emphasis is really on just about making sure the modelling is right in the early stages, that we reinforce to them the key parts of number and place value, and then that scaffold is removed as soon as it can. One of the things we constantly try to assert during the video is not only does this help with number sense and place value and confidence and fluency, but also critically it's a really important part of strengthening children's working memory. The stronger they can visualise numbers and articulate those patterns, the better. If they can't, we would carry on and we would work with notations, number line, patterns, working on rules. We would use jotters to do that. Once they're confident, we can move on. I would also be stressing with children that if they can use 1,000, then actually maybe they can be challenged at 998 or 1,005, or it might be 1,010, or it might be 990. And all of those would really show that children can not only count forwards and backwards in 1,000, but they can use that to master their work on other areas as well.